They raised the rent to $3,800.
When was that?
They did that. They gave me notice on November of 22.
And up to that point, you had been a tenant for how long?
Close to 10 years.
Close to 10 years.
Yes.
You're a loan officer.
Yes, sir.
And you paid your rent for most of that period of time?
I would say for all the time. And then I was injured at the beginning of the year, and then while I was in the hospital...
Beginning of what?
Of 21.
21?
Yes, sir. And
What
so,
happened?
and I broke 3 ribs and collapsed the lung, and I ended up with pneumonia.
How did you do that?
A motorcycle accident. And so I had admitted to the hospital. I stayed there for 5 days, and during that time, I believe I got even sicker because of all the COVID patients, as far as being able to breathe.
Were you out of work during that period of time?
I was working my best and paying the rent the whole time as well.
Right.
Through August, I had 1 month where I had to give them about $487 short of what the rent was. And they had a conversation with me and said they wanted their son to move in and that partial payments are unacceptable, that they were thinking about moving me out. So December 1st came along with the first payment that's due on that $3,800, and I paid it under duress, but explained to them that I didn't have enough money to pay January's rent, which was the only month I hadn't paid, and that I would do my best to make everything clean in the house, and which I did.
Now, are you responsible for damaging any of this property?
I think it's normal wear and tear. We didn't do anything irresponsible to the house. The one spot was a bed.
You say we. Is this your roommate who was with Amber?
Yes.
Is that correct? You can step up for a moment. Amber, did you have any relationship with the landlords in this case, or were you co-tenant with Mr. West?
Co-tenant with Mr. West.
Okay.
See, I needed help with the rent at the beginning of the year, so I was looking for a roommate.
By the way, is your son in the home now?
Yeah, he eventually did move in.
So that Mr. West was correct. You really wanted him out? So
If I can clarify, we told Dennis it looks like you're struggling with the rent. We will forgive the 30-day notice, and you can move out at any time. We never once told him that he had to leave.
Never.
I would argue that they had mentioned the son during that conversation in August, and she had said, why don't you move out? My son and his friends can come in there, and they can afford it. Very condescending.
Now, the question is, was there some inhumanity in the way that they treated you that would excuse you from paying the January rent? And that was how much?
$3,800.
Also, you didn't pay the prorated February rent, which was how much?
$550.
Now, your security deposit is only $2,500.
Correct.
So even if I were to say, yeah, okay, you could apply the security deposit, the outstanding rent, you'd still owe over $1,000 in rent.
Well, when they came to inspect the bathroom and they had accused Amber and I that we were the cause of that damage.
Yes, you were upset because they claimed...
No, I wasn't upset. I was more worried at that point that Amber was going to leave and I wouldn't have the
money
the means to pay them, which ended up being the case.
But my question to you was, even if we apply the security deposit to the outstanding rent, you would still owe over $1,000 in rent. I'm not talking about the damages. But let's see the video of how you left the premises.
Okay. Okay, February 3rd, moving out of the property. Just want to verify that everything looks cool. So all that's been clean. We're clean here. This looks good. I'm gonna get rid of the stuff in the kitchen soon. Coming through. Bathroom looks good. Cleaning the bathrooms all good, nice and clean. Even though they're I still will leave it clean for them. There's a little bit of dirt right there from the wood. Everything's cool. I got this going. Here's the garage. I will pick up that and that. And I will pick up the surfboards, but that's not mine. Grain gutters are not mine. Okay, they might bark at the paint on the door. If they do, I'll come back and paint it. I don't think they want me to, though. I cleaned up the windows, I've mopped the floors.
Now, I looked at the floors on the video. Which floors did you say had to be replaced?
You need to look at close-ups on page 4
Of your exhibits?
of our exhibit.
Oh, I see here.
Most of them were in the bedrooms. There was also damage
Did
in
you
the
see
living
this,
room.
Mr.
Oh, yes, sir.
West?
I've actually pointed it out to Mr. Brett. I just told him that there was a bed sitting here over the period of like 5 or 6 years, ended up wearing a spot. It was just normal wear and tear because that's what it was, wear and tear.